We all know that feeling, right? Like hoping that little bit of luck will swing our way,
Yeah.
whether it's totally acing a job interview or just finding a parking spot on a crowded street.
Oh, yeah, totally.
But what if I told you luck could be more about your mindset and how you act than some mystical force?
Hmm. Interesting.
So today we are going to go deep into the science of luck.
Ooh, I love this.
We'll be looking at psychology, math, even history, to see how much control we actually have.
Okay.
Get ready to rethink everything you thought you knew about good fortune.
It's so fascinating how, through history, people have tried to explain luck.
Yeah.
Like, often they'd say it was divine intervention.
Oh, so like the gods.
Yeah, like the ancient Romans had Fortuna and the Greeks had Tyche.
Right.
These were goddesses who, like, embodied luck and chance.
Okay, so less about appealing to the gods and more about understanding the odds.
Exactly. Like, as we understood the world, more science started to offer a different perspective. And developing probability theory was a total game changer. Yeah. It shifted things away from mystical forces to mathematical principles.
Okay.
And alongside that, psychology started to untangle how our own minds, like, shape how we see luck.
So how much of this lucky streak feeling is all in our heads?
Well, more than we might realize.
Really?
Yeah. Our brains have these things called cognitive biases that can make us see patterns even when there aren't any.
Oh, interesting.
Like, take confirmation bias.
Okay.
That makes us more likely to remember things that confirm what we already believe.
Right.
Even if it's about being lucky or unlucky.
Oh, okay. I see.
So, like, if you think you're a lucky person, you'll probably focus on all the times you won a raffle.
Uh-huh.
Or found a $20 bill on the sidewalk.
Right.
And, conveniently forget about all the times you weren't so lucky.
Exactly. And then there's the gambler's fallacy.
Yeah, that one's a classic.
Which tricks us into thinking past events can influence, like, random ones.
Yeah.
Okay, so picture this.
Okay.
You're playing roulette, and red has come up 5 times in a row.
Mm-hmm.
You might feel like black is due to balance things out.
Right.
But actually, each spin is totally independent. Like, the odds reset every time.
Exactly. Every spin is a fresh start.
So those hot streaks at the casino, maybe they aren't as real as they feel.
It's all about probability in the end.
But if it's not all just random chance, like, why do some people seem to always be attracting good fortune?
That's where the work of psychologist Richard Wiseman gets super interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he spent years studying people who said they were lucky and unlucky.
Yeah.
And what he found might really surprise you.
What's that?
Lucky people, they aren't necessarily born under a lucky star or anything,
Okay.
but they do tend to share certain traits and behaviors.
So it's more about making your own luck than being born with it. Give us the inside scoop.
Well, one of the biggest things Wiseman found was optimism.
Okay.
And it's not just about positive thinking, it's
Yeah.
about what you do with it.
So taking action.
Exactly. Optimistic people tend to be more proactive.
Mm-hmm.
They put themselves out there more and make more opportunities. You guessed it.
Lucky encounters.
Yes.
They're not just sitting around waiting for good things to happen. They're out there making things happen.
Exactly. And when things don't go their way, lucky people, they show a ton of resilience.
Okay.
So instead of getting stuck on setbacks,
Right.
they see failure as a way to learn,
Oh, interesting.
which helps them make smarter decisions in the future.
They're turning those lemons into lemonade.
They are. They're using those experiences to their advantage.
That's awesome.
And another thing Wiseman found was being able to build strong social connections. Lucky people, they tend to be like master networkers, and it's not just for work stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they actually genuinely like meeting new people.
That's cool.
And having this wider social circle, it exposes them to more ideas and unexpected opportunities.
So it's not just about who you know. It's about being open to connecting with new people and seeing where those connections might lead.
Exactly. You never know what might come from a new connection.
But what about those times when it really does seem like pure chance? Where does probability fit into all of this?
Probability. That's where we go from the psychology of luck to the math behind it.
Okay.
And understanding a few key concepts can really help us understand those seemingly lucky events.
Okay, let's dive into the numbers.
Okay, love it.
What are some probability secrets that can help us decode luck?
So one of the most important is the law of large numbers.
Okay.
It says that over a lot of trials, the results of a random event will tend to even out to its true probability.
Okay.
So imagine flipping a coin. In just a few flips, you might get a bunch of heads.
Right.
But over like thousands of flips, the results will get closer and closer to a 50-50 split between heads and tails.
So even though there will be fluctuations in the short term over time, things tend to balance out. So maybe those winning streaks aren't as magical as they seem.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that leads to another important idea,
Yeah.
which is that random events are truly independent.
What does that mean?
Like each coin flip, each spin of the roulette wheel,
Mm-hmm.
it's not affected by what happened before.
Okay.
The past doesn't predict the future when it comes to chance.
So that feeling that a certain number is due to hit on the roulette wheel is just our brains trying to find patterns where none exist.
Yeah, our brains love patterns.
It's hard to wrap your head around that sometimes.
I know it's a bit counterintuitive,
Yeah.
but understanding these probability concepts can be really empowering.
In what way?
Well, it helps us make more rational decisions, especially with things like gambling or investing, where our emotions can sometimes cloud our judgment.
So we're starting to see that luck might be less about mystical forces and more about how our minds perceive and interact with chance.
Exactly. Our perception plays a huge role.
But can we actually influence our luck by changing our thinking?
That's a great question, and it's something we'll explore more in depth after a quick break.
So we've talked about how our brains can kind of trick us into seeing luck, where it might just be probability, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
But this idea that we can actually influence our own luck just by changing how we think,
Right.
that's what's really fascinating to me.
Yeah, it's a powerful concept.
Yeah.
And it all ties into this thing called the self-fulfilling prophecy.
Oh, I've heard of that.
So basically, if you believe you're lucky,
Uh-huh.
you're more likely to act in ways that actually create those lucky outcomes.
So it's like a positive feedback loop.
Exactly.
A leaf leads to action, which leads to results, which reinforces the belief.
Exactly. And this isn't just like some new age stuff. There's real science behind it.
Okay.
Like studies have shown that athletes who visualize themselves succeeding, they actually perform better.
Oh, wow.
It's not magic or anything.
Yeah.
It's about training your brain to focus on what you want to happen.
Okay.
And that can actually influence your actions and behavior.
So instead of just wishing for good things to happen,
Yeah,
you're actively setting yourself up for success by focusing on the positive.
exactly.
I like that.
And you can apply this to all areas of life.
Okay.
Think about setting goals.
Yeah.
If you believe you can achieve something,
Mm-hmm.
you're more likely to actually put in the effort
Right.
and make smart decisions that get you closer to that goal.
It's like that saying, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right.
Exactly. And even when you face setbacks,
Mhm.
having a lucky mindset can really make a difference.
Okay, how so?
Instead of seeing failure as like the end,
Yeah.
you can see it as a chance to learn, like a chance to adjust how you're doing things and try again.
So resilience is key.
Absolutely.
But all this talk about probability makes me wonder
Yeah.
if understanding these concepts can help us make better decisions. Where else can we actually apply this in everyday life?
Well, the applications are pretty much endless.
Really?
Think about finances.
Yeah.
Understanding probability can help you figure out investment risks.
Right.
You know, knowing that spreading your investments around is a strategy based on probability.
So it's not about trying to get lucky with one stock.
Right.
It's about playing the odds in a smarter way.
Exactly. And this way of thinking about probability,
Mm-hmm.
it can be so helpful for planning projects and managing risks.
Oh, yeah.
Let's say you're managing a project at work.
Okay.
By understanding probability, you can estimate how likely it is that certain tasks will take longer than you think,
Oh, interesting.
which can help you plan extra time and set more realistic deadlines.
So it's all about anticipating potential challenges.
Yeah.
Having backup plans in place.
Exactly. And this even applies to like health and safety.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like when you hear those statistics about how well a medical treatment works
Right.
or the risks of certain behaviors, those numbers are based on probability calculations.
Interesting.
Understanding these concepts can help you make better choices about your own health.
Wow. I never really thought about it that way, but it makes sense.
Yeah, it's all around us.
We're constantly making decisions based on probability, even if we don't realize it.
Totally.
But beyond the practical stuff, I'm also curious about the cultural side of luck.
Oh, yeah.
How have different cultures viewed and interpreted luck throughout history?
Well, that's a fascinating area to explore.
Yeah.
Cultures all over the world have their own unique beliefs and traditions around luck.
Oh, for sure.
For example, in many East Asian cultures,
Mm-hmm.
numbers and colors have special meanings.
Like the number 8 being considered lucky in China.
Exactly. Because it sounds like the word for wealth.
Right, right.
And the color red is often seen as good fortune and prosperity in many Asian cultures. That's a big part of celebrations and festivals.
Yeah, for
Then
sure.
you have medieval Europe, where people believed in lucky charms and amulets to, like, ward off evil spirits and attract good luck.
It's interesting how those beliefs probably gave people a sense of comfort and control back then.
Right. Especially when people were more vulnerable to, just the whims of fate.
For sure.
And even today,
Yeah.
many of us still have certain superstitions.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Like knocking on wood or carrying a lucky rabbit's foot.
Exactly.
These traditions show how much humans want to influence chance and get good fortune.
It's like we're trying to create a sense of control, even if it's just a placebo effect.
Yeah, I think there's something to that.
Speaking of rituals,
Yeah.
it seems like a lot of athletes have pre-game routines or superstitions,
Oh, absolutely.
almost like they're trying to tap into some lucky energy.
Definitely.
But do you think those rituals actually do anything? Or is it more about the psychological benefit?
Well, there's no scientific proof that these rituals directly change the outcome of a game,
Right.
but some research suggests that they might help athletes indirectly by reducing anxiety and helping them focus more.
So it's more about getting in the right mindset and feeling confident.
Exactly. It's another example of how our beliefs and actions can affect how we experience luck.
And speaking of games,
Yeah.
we can't forget about roulette.
Oh,
A
roulette
game that's basically all about chance and fortune.
is.
What can the history of roulette tell us about how our relationship with chance has changed over time?
Well, roulette was invented in the 18th century, and it's a perfect example of how our understanding of chance and fortune has shifted.
Oh, really?
Early versions of the game were pretty different from what we see now,
Oh, interesting.
and how it's changed reflects advancements in math and probability theory.
So even something as random as roulette has a connection to science and history.
It really does.
It's amazing how all these things are connected.
It is, and it all points to the idea that luck isn't just some mystical force.
Right.
It's influenced by how we think, act, and see the world around us.
Okay, so we've talked about a lot today. We've explored how our brains see luck, the math behind chance,
Yeah.
and even how different cultures view fortune.
It's been a journey.
What's the main thing you want listeners to take away from this deep dive?
I think the most important takeaway is that we can't control every random thing that happens in life,
Sure.
but we're not just helpless bystanders to fate either.
Yeah.
Our actions, attitudes, and beliefs, they all play a big part in shaping our luck.
So it's not about wishing on a lucky star. It's about creating opportunities and being ready to grab them when they show up.
Exactly.
And with that in mind,
Yeah.
I have a question for our listeners.
Okay, love it.
If luck is about seeing and taking opportunities,
Mm-hmm.
what's one new thing you could try this week to up your chances of success or happiness?
That's such a good question.
It could be something small, like talking to someone new,
Yeah.
or something big, like finally signing up for that class you've been wanting to take.
Right.
The point is to step outside your comfort zone and see what happens.
Perfectly said. Remember, you have more power than you think.
I like that.
By having a growth mindset, building connections, and trying new things, you can create your own luck.
And who knows what amazing opportunities are out there. This has been such an insightful deep dive.
It has.
We've learned so much about luck, probability, and human behavior.
For sure.
I think I'm feeling a bit luckier already.
Me too. And remember, learning about luck never ends.
Yeah.
Keep exploring, keep learning, and who knows what lucky discoveries you'll make along the way.
Well said. And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive into the world of luck.
It's been fun.
We hope you've enjoyed exploring these ideas with us.
Until next time, stay curious, stay open to new things, and keep creating your own luck.
It's pretty amazing, right? We started talking about ancient goddesses and lucky charms.
Yeah.
And now we're talking about psychology, math history, like some really deep stuff.
It is wild how luck has fascinated people for so long.
Right.
And it still does today.
Yeah, for sure.
But the great thing is, we now have the tools to look at it in a smarter way. I love that.
Instead of feeling helpless against some random force, we can actually take control and create our own chances.
Exactly.
And that's really powerful.
It is.
By understanding how the mind works with luck, we can develop those traits and behaviors
Yeah.
that lead to more of those lucky outcomes.
So we're not just waiting around for luck to find us.
Right.
We're out there making our own destiny.
Exactly. And by getting probability, we can make better choices, handle risks better, and avoid those common traps.
This deep dive has totally changed how I see luck.
I'm glad to hear that.
I feel like I've got a whole new way of dealing with life's uncertainties.
That's great. And remember, exploring luck is a journey.
Yeah.
Keep asking questions. Keep learning. Who knows what lucky things you might find?
Well said. I think that's a great place to wrap up our deep dive into the world of luck.
Yeah, it's been fun.
We hope you enjoyed exploring these ideas with us.
Until next time, stay curious, stay open, and keep making your own luck.